things are gonna get better now. But you're still a drunken slob.
Yes. Headbangers and Hooligans. Another show with yours truly, Scummalicious, and thank you for listening. Things are going to get better now. Why? We're talking my favorite punk singers. 10 of them. Plus one. There's an honorable mention. I added him last night because I got to thinking about it. And it made me feel bad that I didn't put him in the list. And when it comes to punk singers, I've always said this, especially with punk music. We don't care if your voice is perfect, but what do you sound like compared to the other bands? You know, that voice has got to be unique. Especially, holy shit, especially nowadays with all of these fucking bands, and I'm telling you, they all sound the same. And about a month ago, I dug into my MXPX collection. Yeah, I said that. I own about 9 of their CDs. And I really could not fucking believe how epically terrible some of their music was. The lyrics, oh my goodness, it's just fucking bad. And I'm not trying to totally destroy Mike Herrera, the bass player, singer, who's, I think he recorded with John Feldman, the new Goldfinger album. When I listen to the songs now, I definitely pick up on how he really annoys me because he's trying to sound like a lot of the older punk singers. She's my swing set girl. You know, like drawing out the words and shit, and it just comes off fake and phony. You know, Johnny Rotten, the first time we heard Johnny Rotten, we're like, holy fuck. This guy fucking hates everybody. He's pissed. We can feel his anger. We can understand. He hates a lot of shit. It was so authentic. And to me, that's the most important thing, is the voice. Because when you hear that unique voice that you haven't ever heard before, it really hits you heavy, right? Bon Scott. Think about that. And in recent years, I've taken a step back because I was bitching about AC/DC a lot, and then recording albums. And to me personally, their last 4 albums, they sucked to me, you know, and I just kept saying retire. But you know what? That's not up to me. I don't care if there's 10 fucking people that listen to him. You know, I was in a band and we recorded an album. What if I wanted to record a second album and somebody said, you ain't recording a second album? You know? So I've kind of changed my position on that. And also with Brian Johnson, because holy shit, how hard that must have been to replace a legend like Bon Scott. And think about Back in Black. Bon Scott helped write all those songs. You know, one of the most legendary albums of all time. Just picture Bon Scott on You Shook Me All Night Long, the title track, instead of Brian Johnson. How different would have that fucking album been? Holy fucking shit. But I'm not gonna beat up Brian Johnson because he had to follow him up. I'm just done doing that. But enough of that. This is about punk. Let's get after it. My honorable mention is Joe Doherty. Yes, Joe D. That same guy that I talked about a couple days ago, Jughead's Revenge. Top 15 songs. The first time I heard him, that voice just fucking blasted out of the fucking speakers. And it basically grabbed me by the throat. Chokehold. Joe D gave me like a chokehold slam with his voice. But it's just the perfect voice for Jughead's Revenge. With a name like that, you got to have a guy that it's got that big voice. It's good. That is going to punch you. It's just he fits their music perfectly. So salute to you, or is it salut like the Italians do in Goodfellas? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Nothing but respect. Had to get the honorable mention out of the way. Nice job, Joe D. Now, here we go. My 10 favorite punk singers, Johnny Rotten. And by the way, these aren't in order. Like, I'm not counting them down. I kind of feel the same about all of them. Alright? Johnny Rotten, like I said before, that voice, the first time I heard that voice, wow. This guy is really, really pissed. And I love the rolling of the R's, you know. And you thought that we were faking, and that we were all just money making. You could not be for real. Ooh. Hey, I didn't do too bad on that. I usually fucking destroy that. Not bad. But that voice, it's pretty iconic. And somebody said, well, he's really not a singer. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, he's not a melodic singer, but he's still the fucking singer. That's what he does. Call it yelling or whatever you want to call it. I love these people that nitpick shit. They don't play a fucking instrument. They've never recorded a fucking song in their life. Of course, people say, well, that's all you do. I know, but I know more. I know. That's a dick move. Scott Radinsky. Pulley. I think everybody knows. I don't know how to say this. It's like it's a man crush. It is. I can't lie. And he used to get a lot of shit at some of the shows because he was a baseball player and he's still a coach. Oh, that's really punk. Scott's fucking baseball pitcher. Well, you know what? Pulley's a lot more punk than some of them bands like Blink-182. Huh? Yeah, they're so much more punk than fucking Scott Radinsky. Scott Radinsky sings on the greatest fucking song ever written, Working Class Whore. The theme to my life, pretty much. But as I was saying, with the punk singers, now Scott is the opposite of Johnny Rotten because he actually does sing, and he has a good voice. Is he Bruce Dickinson? No, but he has a good singing voice. And it started with 10-Foot Pole. It's a great voice. I love it. It's gotten me through a lot of shit, and you just can't go wrong with Scott Radinsky. I mean it. And that's that. Mark Adkins. I know. I get it. For those that don't know, Guttermouth. The band that's had a shitload of members leave. A couple of them came back and left again and then come back. Anyway. Probably not everybody's favorite band. Mark Adkins is the last guy in the punk bands. All the punk bands that are playing now, he's the last guy from the old school punk mentality, right? Fucking rips on the crowd, gets kicked off the Warped Tour because he makes fun of fucking the other bands playing on the Warped Tour, which they deserved every fucking word he said. My Chemical Romance, they were upset because Mark Atkins, he said that we wore more makeup than our moms did. You gotta kick them off the tour because All we're trying to do is sing music for 14 and 15-year-old kids that are sometimes suicidal, even though they're spoiled brats. Okay, I know I went totally overboard, but he was just telling the fucking truth. And, you know, the whole Rock Against Bush thing that Fat Mike started, of NoFX. That's part of the reason that I can't fucking stand Fat Mike anymore. And listen, I used to be a huge fan of NoFX, but the politics, it's like, shut the fuck up, okay? Go on tour with Green Day. You guys go hang out together. I'm sorry, just don't want politics shoved down my fucking throat. That's me. But that whole thing, because Mark Adkins didn't hate George Bush like Fat Mike did, we quit talking to him. And then they were bands, Guttermouth and NoFX, that came up together. Like, they were right there when that second wave of punk hit in the mid-90s with Green Day and NoFX and Rancid, Pennywise, and The Offspring. You know? To me, that just doesn't... That's not a good look for Fat Mike. I'm sorry. And Mark Adkins does not give a fuck. And I know some of his shows he gets too fucked up and he sounds like shit. But Mark Adkins is the last guy that brings the true punk spirit from the 70s. You know? He's the last of a dying breed, so to speak. And, you know, I always say that Otis Urungus is my dad, because he was. Rest in peace. I love you, Father. Mark Adkins is my stepdad. So, not bad, you know. Hey, nice job out of mom. Otis Urungus, you know, as your dad. And unfortunately, you know, he dies, but then you get Mark Adkins. And he's taught me well. I think a lot of people are jealous of my stepdad. Keith Morris. Fourth singer already. Boy, I'm flying through this one. He is my favorite singer for Black Flag. Okay, small history for those who don't know. They had Dez Cadena, Ron Reyes, Chavo, I think was his nickname, and of course Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins is my least favorite. That guy is as fucking annoying as Katy Perry to me. Seriously, the whole fucking spoken word thing. My dad, you know, and I know I've talked about that ad nauseum. He just fucking annoying. I did like Dez, his voice. I like Ron Reyes too, but Keith Morris, that's the guy, okay? And you know, Johnny Rotten for the Sex Pistols with Rage and Anger. Keith Morris is the American version of Rage and Anger. I don't care. Don't want to fuck you anyways. I don't care. Well, it goes anyways. Like, right there. That part that I tried to imitate. I didn't do bad. Wasn't great. That's what Mike Herrera was trying to do. Okay? On the MXPX albums. And they're still together as far as I know. But there you go. It just doesn't work. Okay? Keith Morris did it, and he did it a lot better. You know, and that's why when I listen to MXPX now, plus when he's trying to imitate Rage and Anger, but the lyrics are, you know, my swing set girl. When gray skies turn blue, I'll be there for you. Fuck. What? Something wrong with me. I should have been bitch slapped for that. Anyway, Keith Morris. Yeah. You go, Keith. Devin Williams. Oscar. They recorded 2 albums. They did have an EP. What a great fucking band that should have lasted longer than they did. Seriously. when Treatment 5 and Idol Will Kill, two of my favorite albums, I can't count how many times I've listened to both of them CDs. They've never have come out of my CD player. I'm not kidding. My stereo. Because I didn't have a CD player in my car, I had a cassette player. That's how I roll. I'm not kidding though. I love them both so much. Devin Williams, that voice. And I read somewhere, actually I've seen in a couple articles where they compared his voice to Jeff Ott. Jeff Ott, who played in 15 or sang in that band, and Crimpshrine, huge legendary band, California punk band. And I see the similarities a little bit, yeah, but Devin Williams, that voice, and the first song I ever heard from was a song All Right, which was on Treatment 5. It's just, it kind of like Joe D. It just reaches out of the fucking speakers and grabs you. You know, you could feel the anger. I fucking love it. I love that piss and vinegar. Yeah. You know, and I just, you know, songs like Fuck Me and Asshole, Shit Face. I love it. I'm not comfortable with myself, but your put down just do not help. It is. It's such a unique voice. I hate it that they only recorded 2 albums. That sucks. You know, find a way to work it out, guys. And you know, another thing too. This is fucking awesome. Oscar opened up for NoFX. This is after they had got signed, and they were ripping on NoFX, like telling them they haven't recorded a good album in at least 10 fucking years, and oh, Devin's an asshole for ripping on Fat Mike. No, good for him. Fuck yes, I love it. That's some balls right there. Hey, we're gonna sign you to this record label. Okay, you're gonna play with NoFX. Oh, sure. Hey, Fat Mike. Yeah, fuck you. I mean, it didn't go down like that, but good for him. Tim Armstrong. Now, if this was Buckster, my brother from another doing the show, he's in his truck right now, this would be the guy that he would have at the top of the list. Tim Armstrong, Rancid. He is a huge Rancid fan. He thinks that's the best punk band going. And I kind of agree with him. Kind of. No, they're a great band, but God, I have so many bands that I love. In my top 10 list, it changes every other week. You know, one week it's Nerve Herder, the next week it's Jughead's Revenge, then it'll be the Bouncing Souls. That's just what I do, okay? But Tim Armstrong, that voice, there is nobody like it. Nobody. You don't get better than that. As far as the uniqueness of it, okay? When Rancid plays, you sure as a fuck know who it is. And I've read it in a couple articles and seen online. Oh, that voice. Well, Bob Dylan has one of the worst voices I've ever heard. And how fucking long has that guy been recording albums? It's punk. That's what punk is. It's a voice for musicians that don't play 50,000 notes a second and go to some college to learn how to read music. Tim Armstrong is the ultimate punk rock poet. Yeah, he's the Bob Dylan of punk. There you go. Greg Adanito, Bouncing Souls. I mean, it's the Bouncing Souls. Everybody knows how much I love them. I've got the tattoo on my arm. They've been doing this for over 25 years, and Greg is very similar to Scott in the fact that he has a nice voice. He's a good singer. No, he's not Bruce Dickinson, just like I said about Scott Radinsky, but his voice is nice and it fits perfect with the songs that Bouncing Souls sing, and you won't find a nicer guy. I know because I met him and he talked to me, and he probably got a little nervous when he seen the tattoo. He's like, wow, this guy's like a fucking stalker. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can take a picture together. And you know, the whole time he's like, okay, hurry. Let's make it quick. I ain't standing beside this fucking fruitcake for very long. But no, really, good dude, great singer. And the last guy, actually I got two more. So this is next to last. Jason Cruz, Strung Out. And if you've listened to Strung Out, not your normal punk band. In fact, they're really not a punk band anymore. When they started out, they were punk with, you know, elements of metal and all that other shit. Doesn't matter because they're just a great fucking talented band. Jordan Burns, one of the best drummers on the planet. Rob and Jake on guitar. Just not easy music to sing to, but Jason Cruz does. And I'm telling you, you can go on YouTube and hear him live, and Jason still brings it. Okay? And I'm telling you, he's not just singing shit like Mark Atkins is, and I'm not ripping on Mark. That's the kind of music they do. But the music that Strung Out plays, they have to have a guy that can bring it, and Jason Cruz does that. And just like all the other bands, he's been doing it for over 2 decades too. How he's kept his voice sounding that good, I don't know. But he's really fucking good. And last, and definitely not least, Perry Grip, Nerve Herder. Great band, you know how much I love them. I mean, I've had a couple people, and honestly, this is a very cool compliment. I've had a couple people that listen to the CD and they say, you know what, you kind of remind me of the guy that sings for Nerve Herder. Really? Huh, I can't fucking sing. But to even mention that, put me in the same boat with him. Yeah, very, very neat. And once again, his voice is just perfect for their music. It's not complicated, but it's funny, and I never get tired of listening to him. And Perry's perfect. How about that? So there you go. My 10 favorite punk singers plus an honorable mention. And tomorrow we're back to my top 50 albums of all time, number 20. I'll post a little hint on my Facebook page later. Make sure you always check with it. I'm always putting stuff on there. Alright, you know how I do this. Take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice. I'm out.